Shane with His Vision Ministries, and I pray that you are having a blessed Thursday. Today I want to speak to you as we continue in the Strength for the Soul series here in our Nugget series about being strengthened by encouragement. And we all need encouragement. And so we're going to be in Hebrews chapter 10, looking at two verses today, and that is verses 24 and 25. The Bible says, "And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching." You know, as we think on this subject of encouragement is one of God's most powerful, but yet often overlooked gifts that He gives us. You know, a timely word, a thoughtful prayer, or even a simple act of kindness, you know what it can do? It can lift a weary heart. It can restore hope to a discouraged soul. And in a world today that is filled with criticism, division, and discouraging news, you know what, friend? God calls His people to be intentional encouragers. And so the writer of Hebrews here, he reminds us that encouragement is not accidental, it's deliberate. Notice it says, let us consider one another. You know, to consider someone means to notice them, to think about their need, and be mindful of whatever their struggles may be. And encouragement begins when you and we shift our focus away from ourselves and we look intentionally at those that are around us. You know, today, many people, they carry that weight of silent burdens. They're fighting unforeseen battles and longing for really some reassurance that they are not alone. And so encouragement is also purposeful. And so the passage says we are to provoke one another unto love and good works. And so I believe that true encouragement does more than just make someone feel better. It points them toward Christ and through Christ-centered living. And it also strengthens their faith, and it renews commitment. It inspires obedience. And so biblical encouragement is not empty praise or shallow positivity. It's truth that is spoken in love, and friend, it reminds others of God's promises and their calling in Him. And then, of course, community always plays a vital role in encouragement. It says not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. And so that just basically means that God never intended for believers to go and walk alone. You know, when we isolate ourselves, it really weakens our spirit. Fellowship strengthens it. And so when we gather with other believers, we create a mutual space for encouragement, whether that's through worship or through prayer or through sharing a testimony or having support, whatever it may be. Listen, God uses another believer's words or even their presence to deliver encouragement to our hearts that we desperately need. And we see there also that word exhorting. That means to come alongside someone with comfort, with instruction and strength. Encouragement's not just something that we receive, it is something that we give, and God often lifts us by allowing us to lift others. And so when we speak life into someone else's situation, it also strengthens our own faith. And so encouragement becomes increasingly important, especially in these difficult times. And so I think the passage here concludes, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. You know, in life, as trials increase, as pressures intensify, we believers need encouragement more than ever. And I think the closer we draw to Christ's return, the greater the need for believers to remind one another of hope, endurance, and even eternal perspective. Think about Jesus. Jesus Himself is the ultimate source of encouragement. And throughout His ministry, He spoke words of hope to the weary. He spoke strength to the weak and forgiveness to the broken. And His presence brought courage where fear had taken hold. And listen, friend, when we encourage others, we reflect the heart of Christ and we become instruments of His grace. So today's Thursday, ask God to make you both a receiver and a giver of encouragement. Listen, friend, if your heart is heavy, Allow the Lord to strengthen you through His Word and through His people. And that is those people that you can trust. And if you see someone discouraged, go speak a word of life. You never know how God may use your encouragement to change someone else's life. I want to thank you for joining today for this Daily Nugget. Be sure to check us out at hisvision.org. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and Lord willing, we will see you again on Friday. God bless.